At the peak of his NBA career, infinitely close to an all-star nod and even a max contract, Austin Reaves was suddenly brought to a dead stop. Christmas Day in Los Angeles was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it landed like a gut punch for Reaves and Lakers fans. He had 12 points at halftime, then left the court limping, disappearing into the tunnel. The bad news followed, a grade 2 strain of his left calf. At least 4 weeks out. And for a player in the middle of his prime, that means everything stops at once. The 27-5-6 nightly production is gone. The freshly built 50-40-90 efficiency streak is broken. The undrafted to-star miracle, the guy who dropped back-to-back 50-point games and carried the team, is forced off the stage. Even worse, this injury could cost him his future. All-star voting is hitting its most critical stretch, and he can only watch. Minimum games for All-NBA? Gone. And that 5-year, $240 million max deal that once felt inevitable now sits under a heavy cloud. From the most team-friendly $14 million deal in the league to the doorstep of a supermax, a 4-year climb, only to be tripped at the finish line by injury. It feels like the Lakers' sky just cracked. Reaves isn't just a scorer. He's the engine of the system, the connector between LeBron James and Luka Dončić. Now that engine is shut down, and a Lakers team that was already wobbling suddenly looks helpless on both ends of the floor. 3 straight losses. Blowout margins. Dead last in defensive efficiency. Every existing issue exploded the moment he went down. Some say this was inevitable, the price of rushing back. A grade 1 strain, just 3 games of rest, then a premature return under the Christmas spotlight, and the injury worsened. The medical staff and coaching decisions are now under serious scrutiny. I don't know what has to change, but something definitely has to change. Luka Dončić said after the loss, visibly frustrated. After Reaves went down and the Lakers spiraled into a 3-game skid, Luka's words said everything. Every team has offense-first players. But if all your core guys score and don't defend, you won't survive the playoffs. Luka Dončić is dealing with a lingering left leg issue. Austin Reaves is sidelined again. And somehow, at 41 years old, LeBron James has become the healthiest of the big 3. Not long ago, the Lakers were riding a dominant 7-game win streak, climbing to second in the West. Just a month later, they were blown out by Houston on Christmas Day, suffering their first 3-game losing streak of the season and sliding to 4th. From early season confidence to sudden collapse, what's really hiding beneath the surface? Early in the season, LeBron missed the first 14 games with sciatic nerve pain. The Lakers scraped by shorthanded, surviving on Dončic's brilliance and Reaves' leap. Once LeBron returned, the team exploded, 7 straight wins, real championship buzz. But to capitalize on a softer stretch of the schedule, head coach J.J. Redick pushed the rotation to the edge. Dončić and Reaves consistently ranked near the top of the league in minutes, while the bench barely saw steady run. The depth quietly eroded beneath the winning streak. Then the injuries hit, and everything collapsed. Of the 5 starters, only LeBron avoided injury. At the worst point, he was carrying the team alone. The bench wasn't spared either. Hayes, Vincent, Smart, all banged up. Injury after injury left the roster barely standing. The Christmas Day loss was the breaking point. Dončić and Reaves returned, but neither was fully healthy. Reaves re-injured himself. Houston grabbed 48 rebounds, feasting on second-chance points and overwhelming the Lakers. This wasn't just a bad loss, it was the inevitable result of exhaustion and attrition. Starters were worn down. Role players weren't ready. And a 41-year-old LeBron was somehow the only healthy pillar left. The front office has already criticized the team's defensive communication. Reports say Redick has urged Luka and LeBron to shoulder more defensive responsibility. Luka's post-game frustration says it all. If the Lakers want to be real contenders again, someone has to change. Someone has to sacrifice. Since extending Dončić, the franchise's direction is clear. Luka is the future. He even helped recruit players like Ayton. Reaves' leap only reinforced that vision. He's averaging 26.6 points this season, nearly 29 before the injury. Dončić is at a ridiculous 33.7. Together, they pushed the Lakers into the West's top three. But once LeBron returned, the one-ball problem resurfaced. The coaching staff tried Luka off the ball. It failed badly. Luka is a ball-dominant creator. Take the ball from him, and his impact drops sharply. Defense only complicates things further. Reaves is limited defensively. Luka carries the offense and can't give full effort on defense. And asking a 41-year-old LeBron to anchor a defense is unrealistic. So the Lakers became the league's most unbalanced team. Top 5 offense. Bottom tier defense. Right now, the priority is simple: protect the core. No more rushing players back. No more gambling with health. The rotation must change. Minutes must be managed. The bench has to play. The regular season is long, and survival matters. The Lakers don't have many escape routes. Either trade Reaves for a defensive anchor, or let LeBron's contract expire and rebuild around Luka and Reaves. Some say this is the NBA's cold reality. Remember? Luka got hurt last Christmas. 39 days later, Dallas traded him. Now the trade deadline is approaching, right around Reaves' return window. Rumors are flying. Miami. Wiggins. Draft picks. Phones are ringing. From small-town kid to Lakers' Big Three member, Reaves' story is already special. But sports are cruel. Sometimes, the distance between a peak and rock bottom is just one fragile muscle. Now he can only rehab and wait. And the Lakers must survive 4 brutal weeks, facing the Kings, Nuggets, Bucks, fighting for position in a ruthless West. We've seen his 51-point magic. Now we see his loneliness in recovery. That's basketball. Its brightest moments often come with the most sudden pain. Reaves' story isn't over. But every page ahead is uncertain. Will he rise again and secure the max? Or become the next name in trade rumors? What do you think his ending will be?